Fill your thirst beside the river. Wash the journey from your hands. Feel the comfort flow inside you. Come this far, you understand.
Hi, welcome to Healing Outside the Box.
Hello.
My name is Rosemary Lachance, and I'm an energy healer and a spiritual teacher.
And I'm Dina Scungio, and I am a student of spirituality.
Tonight, this is show number 170 from the Life Explained series, and this is part 15. And the titles of these shows, the first one is going to be, where did I write this down? Where did I write this?
10 surprises.
10 surprises you will when you die, and the second one is why the secret didn't work. Okay? Now, this is our continuation of the Life Explained series, which will give you food for thought information about spirituality based on the teachings of Hans Wilhelm from his series. We will play one or two different DVDs and then have dialogue about it. We encourage you to call, email us, or write to NHTV with your questions. We will answer them on the show privately if you prefer. This is not a religious show, and no matter what religion or belief you follow, the information we give you will only enhance your beliefs. We do not try to convince you of anything. This series is recorded and will be shown in your area on your local public service cable network. Please contact them for dates and times.
If you have a group that you think would be interested in what we have to offer, we are available to come to your group and to teach from this series. We'll give you our contact information at the end of the show. Please visit Rosemary's Lachance website, www.rosemarylachance.com. Also Hans' website, where you'll find a wealth of information about this show and the series. We're also on Facebook under Healing Outside the Box. And please like our page so that you can find all the information that we post there on the show and on our guests as well. And we hope you enjoy the show.
Okay, tonight we are so pleased and thrilled to have with us Hans Wilhelm, creator of this series. Welcome, Hans. It's always so good to have you here.
To be here, Rosemary.
Let me tell you a little bit about Hans. With over 42 million books in print, Hans Wilhelm is one of America's foremost author and illustrators of children's books. Many of his 200 books have been translated into 20 languages and have become successful animated television series. They are enjoyed by children all over the world. His books have won numerous international awards and prizes. As a noted speaker, Hans has been inspiring audiences around the world with his spiritual and life-affirming concepts that he shares in many of his books. He is also the creator of the Life Explained series of short videos based on the spiritual laws of the universe, which can also be found on YouTube, and they are all free. Okie dokie.
Wow.
So we are going to show the first video right now, 10 surprises when you die. As soon as the control room puts it on the air.
We worked on that.
Hi, I'm Hans Wilhelm. And in this video, in the Life Explained series, I would like to list the 10 biggest surprises that we may expect when we die. Let's face it, we all have to die, but most people feel very uncomfortable talking about it. And that is a pity, because too many souls who are going through the dying process are very confused, and that because they don't know what to expect. Since we do not know when we are going to die, I thought it would be a good idea to find out what it is before it is too late. The 10 surprises that I'm going to list are irrespective whether I am agnostic, whether I am secular, or whether I am deeply religious or atheist. The death process is a very natural process, and Mother Nature has been doing it for millions of years, and she isn't going to change it because of our beliefs. So this is what can be expected. The number one surprise for many is that there is no such thing as death. Those who believe that death is a total extinction of consciousness or awareness will have to come to grips with the fact that life continues after the physical death. Death is not an end, as many people had hoped or expected. Surprise number 2 is that we will still have a body after death. It is not a physical body made of cells, but a spiritual body made out of spiritual particles. This new body feels very much the same as the old body. In some cases, this spiritual body may even be younger and nicer than the one we had before. Surprise number 3 is that we cannot hide anything from anybody. All our thoughts, emotions, desires, and so on are now clearly visible to everyone. They are reflected in our soul garment, also called our aura. Surprise number 4 is that for the most part, we have not really changed much through the process of death. Our character, personality, opinions, and most of our beliefs are completely intact, for the better and or for the worse. Anybody who hoped to be wiser or more enlightened when they die will be disappointed. Surprise number 5 is that all our strong desires, our cravings, addictions, habits, obsessions, or substance abuses will still be with us on the other side and felt intensely. The problem is that we no longer have a physical body to satisfy them with. Surprise number 6 is that we realize very quickly that most of our pursuits we had on earth are actually unimportant, like personal achievements, status, career, collecting stuff, fame, recognition, and so on. They have no meaning anymore. And the only thing that truly matters is how much we have loved and served and forgiven others. And surprise number 7 is that in most cases, beings of light, which we also call angels, greet us and help us to accommodate us to the new place where we will be living. But this can only happen when we give them our permission or show them our willingness. Never be too afraid to approach them. They are here to help and guide us. Surprise number 8 is that in many cases we will also be greeted by loved ones like our spouses, friends, relatives, and others who have died before. This is usually a very joyous reunion. And we may even be greeted by our pets or any other animal with which we had a very close bond during our lifetime. Surprise number 9 is that there will be no dancing around the throne of God or growing wings or sitting on clouds or strumming harps. The new spiritual world we have entered may look surprisingly similar to the one we left behind, and it offers a large variety of activities to further our soul's progress. And lastly, surprise number 10 is that there is no eternal hell or damnation or final judgment day. These are concepts thought up by humans who wished to manipulate others by fear. For more information on death, dying, suicide, grieving, or mourning, you may want to watch any of my videos on these topics. Well, it really doesn't matter whether you believe any of this, what I've shared with you. Sooner or later, you will find out for yourself. The only thing I would like you to remember is that when we make or have made the transition, which we call death, to look out for those light beings. They are there to help us and to guide us. And we mustn't be intimidated by their bright light and not be afraid to approach them. Just ask them to please take us to our new adventure. Happy trails.
What about your dad on this? No. Okay.
It's a good video.
Isn't it?
You know,
Those
when I
are
think
nice
of
10 surprises.
Did you see Artificial Intelligence, that movie with the little
Long time ago, vague
you remember the
memories.
light beings at the end that came in? They were kind of like alien light beings. They were very fluid, and I always think of them when I think of light beings. They were like, oh, they just gave you a feeling of welcoming, like I assume when you get there, that overwhelming feeling of welcome and love is there.
I wanted to interject here that many people who see these light beings, and like if they have a near-death experience and they come back, they feel they saw God or Jesus when it wasn't them, but these light beings, right? Yeah.
The light beings, well, it depends a little bit according. Our beliefs are so strong, our conviction, that for some people have got a very strong belief that when they die, they will see Mary or Jesus. That actually will take place in the islands of dreams, it's called. And these are sort of a temporary kind of area where these very strong convictions are really experienced for a very short time. So souls can really see what they imagine is Jesus or Mary and so on, and then slowly it will evaporate. It is similar like a Disney World. Exactly what you imagine you get, because our beliefs are so strong, our convictions are so strong, and they don't stop when we die. And when we've got this very strong belief that I will see whatever it is, whoever it is, that will actually in the spiritual world easily take place.
And that could work the other way too. If people believe in a hell and a damnation and something like that, and a purgatory and things like that, they could also see this.
They could see that. I would be a little bit careful. Usually they're a little bit protected there. If they haven't been evil or whatever it is, if their life haven't been evil, I think there is something about a protection and so on, if that is. But people are afraid, and this is why I mentioned it at the end of my video again, very much afraid. People who do not feel very, how should I, comfortable about themselves and how they have led their life. Are very scared to approach those light beings, the angels, which we say. They say, I'm not worthy of it. Or we get away, and all the guilt comes up, and they run away from them.
Yeah, okay.
And that's why I emphasized it twice in this video. It is one of the most important things of not being intimidated by it, because our guilt comes up, and it says, I cannot speak to them. They are too lofty for me, or whatever it is. And it's the contrary. It's just only that they can't rush after you. You have to be open to contact them.
They can't rush after you.
Yeah. And so that is, I think, very important.
That's
Basically, that is what I believe is the only message to take. As I don't believe a thing I say in these videos, but the only thing please take with you is that never be afraid of those light beings. Approach them, even if you feel you're not worthy or whatever, but go to them. And they take you further wherever you need to go.
So if you think you're seeing Mary or Jesus or whatever, it's kind of an image that will fade a little, as you're crossing
that's how
over.
I understand it. Yeah.
You won't actually see
not initially,
God
no,
right
not
away.
usually not on this level, unless most of us are not that lofty yet, so developed.
You got to get tickets for that, don't you?
We think of very high evolved beings, and most of us don't reach these evolved beings yet. So for the most of us it is. But people have strong images and pictures in their head, and this is how it must be. And these images will carry you will be carried into the next period of existence, which is life after death, the spiritual world. And they will be there for a while. And sometimes it's done also to give them some comfort, to make the shock not too harsh. And then slowly they will disappear, and then they will see the reality, which is usually the spheres or the area into which they belong according to their vibration.
Do we wake up, like after we die, do we wake up in our spirit sense pretty much right away after our body dies, or is there a period of...
that varies very much.
It
I made a very general video. I mean, there are millions of people die different ways, and all the death experiences vary a little bit according to the person and the life of the person. For instance, if you had a very traumatic life and a traumatic death, you do not wake up right away on the other side. You're coming into something like a long sleep. You're something which we can call like a resting home, like a hospital or something, where the soul sleeps for a while. It can be a long time until it is really strong enough to really deal with everything. But some deaths are so traumatic that that has to be done. And some people are so sick and so on that sometimes they need a period of total resting, which is sort of like a hospital. You can see that. There's a wonderful movie where you can see this. It's called Astral City.
Yes,
and it just
We're
shows
thinking
it
of showing that on one of our
it
shows.
shows it beautifully, and this hospital area. Yeah.
wonderful, yeah.
So everybody has a slightly different death experience. It's not exactly as I say, but this is the majority. These are the majority points. And people who have got very strong beliefs or strong aversion or whatever it is, or strong addiction or whatever it is, their experience will be slightly different. We create our life always very individually. Our life is individually, and so is also our death.
And we wake up feeling the same way we felt when we passed away. The same cravings, the same desires, the same everything.
Everything that hasn't been solved will still be with us, but usually it's felt more intensely because we don't have the buffer. The body is a buffer. And it takes time to really feel it and so on. But the body isn't there anymore, so we feel it instantly.
Is there anything that your spirit can do to satisfy itself, or to move past the terrible
the cravings? Well, this is where you will be in good hands on the other side, who will have angelic beings or spiritual beings who will help you to guide you and to overcome it and learn whatever you have to learn from it. So there I think you are basically taken care of how to do this. And for some it takes longer, for some less. But when it comes to cravings and so on, in one of my new videos, which we probably will talk another time, is very often they are done by possessing spirits, not necessarily your own craving, but that's a totally different subject. We will talk about next time about it.
Next time, that's excellent.
So,
That lifts a little of the blame.
Now, I'm sure somebody caught what you just said, and so they're going to ask me, when you said, I don't believe a thing I say on the video, what was that, a jokey, or what would you mean?
I said, do not believe everything I said in the Lord totally, because it is always individual.
Oh, what you say, okay, all right,
Oh, yeah.
I got you. I thought you meant you didn't believe it.
Oh, no,
yeah,
no.
you do,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
No, I heard him.
Sorry, you got an earpiece, I guess.
When you say,
No, it is something that, what I said, these are very broad outlines, because the problem is I do have only a few minutes to make a video. If I make a longer video with all the details and all the variations, nobody will watch it.
yeah, they'll lose it, yeah.
So I have the 3 or 4 or 5 minutes length only for a video. And in that I can just only draw with a very broad brush. And unfortunately certain things fall by the side, but opportunity like tonight we can discuss more detail.
Yeah, and we've always said and been taught, take what resonates in you and leave the rest.
Right, sure.
All food for thought.
We truly offer it, yeah.
Yep. Okay.
I know in number 2, when you were saying about when you're on the other side, you look different. You look a little better than, you know, what you look like here. I was thinking that maybe that's why when I dream of my brother, or my brother kind of visited me, he's always around the age of 23. He looks young. And my grandmother, even when she came to visit me, she looked young. She looked younger than herself.
It's funny, 23 is roughly that age where most people like to stay. You basically decide how you will look on the other side to each other. It's your own decision. But 23 is sort of the age, early 20s, where most souls like to stay.
Yeah.
And it can be done if you have lived a relatively decent life. But for some people who have really lived a terrible life, they shouldn't necessarily hope that they will look very pretty on the other side. They can have many facelifts and whatever it is in this lifetime, but if their character is not very good, they may come up with they may experience a very sad surprise on the other side, that their facial and their whole appearance is according to their soul vibration, to how
what they
have
feel
lived.
about themselves.
Yeah, and how they've lived,
acted when they
how
have
they've lived.
Yeah.
And that reflects in all of in our soul garment and how we appear and so on. So a person who looks very beautiful in the world here and can have a horrible character looks very different on the other side.
Oh, okay. Now I understand more what you were saying. Okay.
And someone who may be not very good looking in this life,
Definitely.
But has
maybe
a wonderful,
beautiful.
Very,
maybe beautiful.
Our true
Okay.
character comes out, our true soul development comes out on the other
understand
side.
that.
That's
better
why I
now.
think that we know in our souls when they make movies and they make people who are not very nice pass over, they get really ugly. Demons look really ugly. It's just a reflection of what they are inside. You know,
I understand that better.
If you want to be beautiful on the other side, you better get your act together.
Do we automatically know everything about ourselves once we are out of our bodies, when we become
Yeah, that's a
spirit again?
question.
All the things that we forgot when we were born into our bodies, when we came here, do we automatically know it again when we wake up on the other side?
Many do. Again, it's all very individual. For many it is good to know, for others it's not good to know. So I think I would not necessarily say clear yes. But of course we do have a better view about why we came. Eventually we will have something like an overview of our life, sort of like a movie. We see our life, of how we have lived this life, and then we will feel all the things we've done to other people in ourselves, and that's how we evaluate our life. Was it a good life? Was it a bad life? Where did we do something which we could have done better? Where did we disappoint ourselves, others, etc.? Where haven't we forgiven? This kind of review of the whole life, everybody will experience. And during that review, we will experience emotions that we have given to others in reverse, so feel how it is. But we will also know in many cases, or most cases, why we have incarnated, because it explains in the life review. Did I really achieve what I wanted to achieve? This is basically when we look back at. So yes, we will remember why we came into this life, what we did bring along, and did we change anything during those 850,000 hours whilst we were here on Earth.
That's what I wrote for number 10, when you said that there's no Judgment Day or anything. I wrote, is there a life video that determines if we accomplished what we came to Earth to do? Not necessarily a judgment, but a lesson to know that we did at least something we were supposed to do, and we were progressing in our spiritual journey from there.
Very much so. It's for everyone. When I said no damnation, no hell, and no final judgment day, I was referring to the religious terminology. They said the final judgment day, basically a lot of people believe there's just one big day when all the souls that come out of the graves and God will sit there, and so on. This is all hocus pocus, which the churches and religious beliefs have brought up to really keep people in check. There's no such thing. But there is I don't like to use the word a judgment day, but it's a life review.
Yeah, that's what life
that
video.
is not done by someone else about you. It's not a God doing it for you or somebody superior telling you where you are right. You do it yourself with the help and with the guidance of your guardian spirits. And then you both together watch this life review and you discuss it. And he is on your side. He is not judging you. There is no judgment there.
Right.
You are the worst. We are always the worst judge to ourselves. We usually are just very harsh on ourselves. We don't need any God or anything to do it unto us. We are perfectly capable of doing the bad judgment ourselves. So yes, that judgment day, if you call it, or the life review, is for everyone. And that is also some spirits or some souls do not want to do that. And then they cling and become earthbound. But it's another video, which we can talk another time. They do not go into the spiritual worlds. They get stuck here on earth. So they don't have to face their review. But that's another story
They're
altogether.
the ones that tip that cup off the side of the counter when you go to reach for it. Right?
Exactly.
I got your number.
From that life review, and after we've been there and learned quite a bit, then we make that decision. Do we want to come back and experience what we can't seem to understand, right? And so maybe we change roles with someone, and so that we can experience what we did to someone else. Yeah.
Something like this, or we do not come back. But we also take advice of our spirit guide and tell us, this is a good opportunity, or take a little rest here, whatever it is. So we will be guided all the time on the other side, what is appropriate, and what to do next, and how to develop further and to improve our whole development.
That's something we should really listen to. But I had read where some people don't pay any attention to that. And they just want to get back here right away.
Oh yeah.
And then they end up in some third world country, and they're not very happy, and they're very suffering. And
you can use still your self-will, and you can definitely disagree with your spirit guides. And yes, everything is possible.
Yes.
That's the more you study the material, the more you must say everything is possible. Any question you can ask is yes, but.
Yeah.
I know one of the statements you made about how none of your pursuits here are the same on the other side. The only things that matter were
love, forgiveness, and service to others.
Service to others. And so I was thinking, well, of all the pursuits we do an entire lifetime of ours, those are the only things that have any kind of bearing on our spiritual progressions.
These are the big ones, yes. But then you can also having children, being a family, whatever it is, which all falls into service and love and so on. There are a lot of other things where you can be active and express these three things, basically. Yeah.
Okay.
But I would say these are the three big ones. But again, there may be some people who incarnate specifically only for a very small service, like a smile in a subway on Thursday night to a certain person who needs that smile to not commit suicide. And these are actual facts. These situations happen. This is the only reason.
She went through it with some.
Yes. So that may be the only reason why some people incarnate. Not everybody necessarily incarnates to undo their karma and to improve. Some people incarnate to help other people and to be of some service, or to do whatever, many reasons, or to study, to educate themselves, explore. The reason for incarnating into this world are manifold. And also some are just only to bring in the light into the earth. To just only be here as anchors of light. So there are many reasons why souls decide to come here to earth. But the majority of us is usually here to undo our mistakes.
Even when a baby's born and he only lives for a few weeks or so forth, there's a reason for that, something he's teaching these parents, something they had to learn or whatever.
There are no accidents.
So everything has a reason. Nothing happens by coincidence, never ever. anywhere in this whole universe.
And there are no victims.
No, right. There are no victims. Exactly.
That's a hard lesson.
Yeah.
Not even a spoonful of sugar will help with some of people with that. It's
I
a real.
know.
That was a long time for me to grasp that. Many years
Right? You
for me
keep
to.
telling her, but you're not a victim. Yes, I am. All right, we won't talk. You know, a year later.
Okay, go away and come back when you're
But
calm.
you're not a victim. No. And then one day, she got it. And that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Took a long time to
Takes
get that.
Oh, it's very easy to slip into the poor me kind
Yeah.
of
Oh,
mentality.
yeah.
Self-pity is one of the very, very difficult things to come out of. And being sorry for you with oneself is sort of kind of a comforting kind of action, but it's very destructive. But
Yeah, very bad for our growth.
Yeah,
There's
sure.
no growth.
But
when
it's easier
when you
to- it's
blame
eas-
other people for your problems.
It's easier to understand when you understand what you explained about when you have contracts with other souls when you come here and the things that happen to you when people have horrible childhoods or things like that it happened for you and not to you. That's a hard one to understand.
It's
and
hard.
You
It's
have to
hard.
be really spiritual
And
and
hard.
really want to know more to grasp that.
And even when we see this happening to someone else, we are still asked to help in a loving way if we can. So
And
we
the
can't say,
anger
all right, you are a
still-
victim, it's just tough luck. No, if I see you are a victim, I have to interact. It is there for me, if I see that that experience and to see that I can help in one way or the other.
I have to say that the anger still sits there every once in a while. It comes out for things that are bad have happened, but then you try to catch it and say, oh no, I'm not supposed to be angry about this. I'm supposed to, you
We
know.
all are, throughout the day, sort
Yeah.
of, we
It's
curse
tough.
somebody or whatever it is.
Oh, I know. I'm in the car and somebody doesn't, and I start, and I go, oh, God, what did I do that for? You know, I know. It happens.
It
We're just
happens,
human.
yeah, it's human.
We're human. It happens.
Do we feel any kind of recognition towards the light beings at all?
What do you mean by recognition?
Like we must have known them before we incarnated. We must have known some of them, or no?
Not
There's no.
necessarily.
Because I know you say sometimes we're
The
afraid.
guardian
There's no.
spirit, no, I don't expect that you recognize them. You may recognize loved ones, like your brother and so on, who wait there and receive you and welcome you. These faces you will recognize. So the light beings usually not.
Not okay.
Very often the light beings are not familiar souls you have been with long together, because familiar souls are buyers. So sometimes it's an outside from another group of souls coming to help you. It's much more neutral to help you than if you have got somebody who has been your mother 15 times and becoming your guardian angel and whatever. That soul may be very biased. So it's good to have an unknown soul at
She'll say,
times.
oh, honey, listen, that's all right. I'll go talk to God and I'll see if we can get you off of this, right?
Let me handle that.
Yeah.
I got your tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very good.
So you
that
don't
would be how it
expect
happened.
you to recognize them.
And on the other side, we still help when we're in spirit, don't we? We still help people who pass over when we get to a certain point in our how can I say, in our growth.
Development, yeah.
And then we still help them. Everywhere we go, every plane we go to, we always help until
Service.
everyone's back home again, right? We're always in service for others.
Service, yeah. That's because we want to.
Yeah.
Because we want to. Because we want to, not because somebody told us. Because the higher you evolve, the more you understand that everybody else is you. So service is not I do it for you, I do it for myself because you two are part of me. So whatever I do to you, I always do to myself, and whether the person is here or in Syria or everywhere else, they're all me. And the higher you evolve, you understand this concept of oneness. So it's absolutely natural for us to go out, incarnate again, to help other people, because the other people are none other than ourselves.
Do you understand that?
No, I understand that. But I also understand there's a lot of, when you mentioned Syria, there's a lot of fear out there. There's a lot of fear because in a lot of the United States, we're so persecuted that I think fear overcomes. I think that the general being is people want to help, most people, but the fear overtakes them of, if we help and then they do what they do, they don't understand that, everything happens for a reason, and they're not going to accept that. Not in this country, I don't believe. I shouldn't say not, I should say it's a hard thing
I
to
only
accept.
took the word Syrian as somebody far away from
Right,
here, as an
yeah.
example. It
Yeah,
can
right,
be
as an
anybody.
example.
Anybody in the
Right.
world who is in need.
Right. Oh, I know. I understand
part
that.
of
I
me.
understand that. But I'm just.
And when
Yeah.
you say part of me, it means that we're all one. We're all
We're all
brothers
one.
and sisters, and God is our Father,
I
Mother.
would go further, not even brothers and sisters. We are just one unit.
Okay.
Brothers and sisters, again, has a little bit separation in it, but we are just one. I mean, that's how I see it, how I feel it. And when we understand it really deep in our heart, then there is just then we don't even see it as service. I give in one of my videos a typical example of the bleeding finger. You just thought, oh, I'm going to serve my finger now, do something wonderful. You just put a band-aid and it's done. You don't even think twice that you're doing a service. You're healing part of yourself automatically, lovingly, naturally. And this is how all our action and interaction should be with each other.
Yeah, that was a good example. I remember that.
That is a good example.
Yeah.
I feel that way when I'm at work on the ambulance, but there are sometimes where there are people that are just
challenge.
very difficult to band-aid up.
Yeah.
Yes, very difficult. I was curious if when the place we go to on the other side you were saying might be different. Do you ever go back to where you were when you incarnated? Like if you were in a certain area, is it do you recognize it? Do you
I'm
not?
afraid I believe, well, my understanding is that 90% of people land up on the same level they came from. Very few people actually, very few souls really progress, and some people degress. The majority, unfortunately, lands up more or less where they came from because their life has not necessarily changed. They haven't cleared up that much as they could have, or they have gone downhill, but some go uphill. I don't know the exact percentage, but the vast majority of souls are usually going back to the same level. That's why we have got hundreds of thousands of lifetimes, many souls. Because it's just only such a small increment kind of improvement we can make, or most of us make. And that's why it's important, if we know anything of these spiritual laws, to really use them and live one's life as much as one can, because we may not have another lifetime coming up where we are informed about these things. Most people don't know about these things.
It's true.
And when we know these things, it is of course of great importance that we just apply them as much as we can in our life, because that is where it's helpful. Then we can just not blame anybody. We know it's all our own making. Our whole life is our own making, and that helps a lot.
We get so caught up in what the world has to offer. We get so caught up in getting the new cars and the new house and going here and doing this and getting our facelifts and doing. We get caught up in all that. But if we really stop to think, what am I going to do with all this when I pass over? It's going to stay here. I can't take any of that with me. I can't stay young. I can't whatever. That's the problem. You see, life becomes a wasted life.
Well, that's just part of it. I think more importantly is, to really go through the whole list of people to forgive. Number one, to let not be a single soul in our life with whom we still have got a slight disagreement, which we are aware of. And if it is, try to make amends as soon as we realize that. That's one major step. Once we have no longer these chains, because each unforgiven relationship is like a chain pulling us back into the earth for another lifetime. We can cut them, and now we understand it, how important it is. Cut off everybody whom we ever thought we have hurt. Make
That's
amends
true,
and
we're tied
ask for
to them if we
forgiveness.
don't,
Yes, that simple thing is one of the most powerful thing. And then we can do love and service and all this kind of thing. But the one thing we surely can do is all forgiveness, and there's quite a list. Everybody has got a list.
I spoke about that with a friend of mine once, and basically they said to me, if I forgive anyone who hurts me right away, which is probably what Jesus did, they'll just think they can walk all over me and keep doing what they're doing. How do they know when they shouldn't be doing that? I mean, even if they're doing something wrong and you're supposed to forgive, how do they know if you don't get mad at them for a while or you don't correct them, that they can't keep doing what they're doing? I mean, or is it even my place, whatever?
It's not your place to decide what they should do or not do. The main thing is, do you feel hurt? And if you do not forgive, anything what we are not forgiving is a total self-abuse. If I do not forgive, I abuse myself like nothing else. Because I will keep thinking about the person, that person will rule my life, etc., etc. So the forgiveness is largely for ourselves. Any person we do not forgive, we allow to abuse us.
Right.
So that's basically the answer to it. It's very important for us to let go and just see and understand that whatever the person has done to us is nothing else than a stepping stone in our growth. As horrible, as disastrous, as painful as it was, it was a necessary step for us to realize and to become more compassionate, understanding, and also help other people maybe from a new perspective. We always grow through whatever harm we go through. It's like a diamond. It needs pressure to become a raw diamond. And once it's a raw diamond, it needs a cutter, the grinder, and the polishers before it sparkles. And this is how we have. And we have got these grinders, the polishers, and so on in our life. And we have to forgive them and understand that they are nothing else than emissaries of light who have come to us to polish us. And we should be grateful.
Do you necessarily have to forgive them in person, or just forgive them within your, like you just say, you know what you did was really horrible, but you know, and move on with your life, and then just forgive them to let go so that you can heal.
Well, excuse me, I could say something. I don't think you'd say what you did was horrible. I would say what you did hurt me very much, and this is why I feel the way I do, you know. And if they won't accept it, for me anyway, I don't hold a grudge and I forgive them, but maybe I won't have them in my life much anymore. We won't have much more to do with each other. I've moved on. They're still stuck where they are, and that's the way it goes. But never saying, you know, I don't want to be with you because I don't forgive you for what you did. Don't talk to me.
I don't think there's any need to talk to them, really. You forgive it in your heart.
Yeah.
And if they think they're not forgiven, it's their thing. But you forgive. You cut the chain. But it's more important for us to go to those who we think we have done wrong to. That's where we have to face them. That's where we have to go them, contact them, send email, ask them, etc., and make amends. Person who has done any harm to us, it's only that we haven't understood at that moment that they were giving us a blessing, a help in our growth. And for that, we not only forgive them, when we truly understand it, we thank them. Without exception. No exception whatsoever. Yeah. Anybody who has, quote, harmed me or done anything so-called wrong to me, somebody who has something make aware in myself that I needed to become aware of and change and grow. So there is no real forgiveness necessary to other people. There's just only thanking them. And we don't have to do it verbally either, in our heart. And we can do it with Christ.
If this person thinks that they can walk all over you, like you said, because they think that you should be mad at them, I think you should just, the fact that you won't be seeing them as much as you used to anymore, do things, they will know that what they did hurt you.
Well, I mean, I also think that people will bring up things like, you know, how do you forgive someone who does something horrible, like kill your child or something like that? I mean, how do you move on from that? If you don't understand the contract thing, you're not going to understand that.
There are big organizations in America of parents whose children have been murdered to make forgiveness to the murderers.
Oh, they do, and that's a wonderful thing. Some
do.
do.
They can do that. You and I can do that too if we want to. If others can do it, we can do that too, as harsh, as incredible as it sounds. But we do have other people doing it, and then we can do it too.
I can say that I can try to be that kind of person always, and that I want to be that person, but, you know, if somebody were to come and you know, hurt her or hurt my husband or something like that, I can't tell you right now what I would do or how I would feel, because the loss would be horrendous.
And you do what you need to do, and you feel the feeling. Do not suppress the emotion. But once you're done with the emotion, then look at it again.
Right, absolutely. Totally agree.
Okay.
Yeah, you couldn't possibly say now how you would feel.
No. I think I didn't unplug myself. Okay.
Do you have some other questions? Because I think if there's any other questions, I think it would be a nice idea. There is a wonderful book which I use. I have this information which I put into the video on death, and there's 10 surprises, comes from many, many sources from 50 years study. But recently I discovered a nice little book. It's called Afterlife Unveiled by Stafford Betty, B-E-T-T-Y. It's a small handbook, and he has got written another one, similar one. And for anybody who likes to read more about it, because he has really accumulated this knowledge from many different sources. He doesn't give it a religious bias, And I really liked him. He's a professor in California on one of the colleges. And I think that is just a nice way for anybody who wants to know more about it to get hold of this very little booklet, and it just puts it nicely together.
And it's called Afterlife what?
Afterlife Unveiled.
Unveiled, okay.
And there's another book which title I don't remember right now, but similar name, also with Afterlife in it, I think. Most of them are just thin little books and wonderful to read, and they put it all nicely together.
Afterlife Unveiled, pick that up.
We're going to try to give you some books every time we have a show, something that you can read. And if you go on my website, www.rosemarylachance.com, you'll see a list of books that I have suggested.
Oh, good.
You know,
okay.
and I'll add this to it too. You know.
We'd better move on with our second video.
Yeah, I knew we'd have so much to talk about. All right, let's show the second video. Why the secret did not work.
Have you seen the movie The Secret? Have you read the books? Have you applied the method? Has it made you incredibly wealthy? If not, don't be discouraged. I will tell you why The Secret hasn't worked for so many people. We are spiritual beings who have been given the opportunity to enter an earthly life for growth, purification, forgiveness, experience, or any other reason. And prior our entry into the physical, we discuss what we want to achieve with our spiritual guides. And we are given a rough outline of our future life on earth. It is our life plan, and I like to compare that with a riverbed from the spring to the ocean. And there will be challenges and special moments along the way where we will encounter people and situations to clear up karma, help others, or learn something. And we have full-heartedly and out of free will agreed to this journey. Yes, to this life plan. We have also made contracts with other souls who will incarnate with us and who we plan to meet during our life on earth. But once we have incarnated here on earth, we, on our conscious level, have totally forgotten our life's plan. But our higher self has not. It remembers why we are here and what we have to achieve. Our higher self is always directly linked to source energy, to God. So, if we now see others having a fancy sports car, let's see a fancy sports car, that's the best car I can drive at the moment, or a big villa by the sea, or somebody has got $100 million in their bank account, then we like to have that same thing. But what do we do to get these things? And if we see a movie like, for instance, The Secret, or go to some New Age channel or abundance guru and hear that all we have to do is sit in our chair and visualize our goals and feeling how it must be having it all. And here are our feelings. And according to the law of attraction and their teachings, these items then must come into our life. Now, many have imagined and felt this for months and years until they got blue in their faces, but their dreams, in most cases, never arrived. Why? Quite simple. These desires usually come from our ego level. But our spiritual guides know better, and so does our higher self, our divinity. It knows about our soul stream, our life plan. It operates from our super-consciousness or supramental level of consciousness. It remembers why we are here and what we have to achieve. And if these items or conditions that our ego wishes are not in line with our life's plan, it will guide us back to our original plan. Imagine if we get this sport car, the villa and the $100 million, it would probably not be part of our original life plan. And if we deviate too much from our life plan, we may miss, in all likelihood, all the people, opportunities in the event that we have originally planned to encounter and master. We would break all our contracts. Remember the quantum physicist Dr. Amit Goswami? Some of you may have remember him from the movie What the Bleak. He says, ordinary ego's intentions do not work unless they resonate with a subtle supramental level of consciousness, with a higher self. The law of attraction on which The Secret is based is one of the most powerful and misunderstood laws in the universe. If what we wish to attract is not in line with our higher self or life plan, it will most likely not manifest. Think about it. If what The Secret says is true, then no stage actor would ever play a terminally ill character. Totally identifying with such a sick character for 2 hours, day after day, months after months, would naturally attract that illness to that actor, according to The Secret. But it doesn't. Remember, only the ego is interested in getting and having. The soul is only interested in becoming. And that's where the ecstasy is, where the excitement is. Don't ask, what do I want? Ask, who am I? And everything will shift.
That's true.
It's interesting.
I've always felt that I see a lot of these things. I see them on Facebook, little videos and everything about how to meditate and concentrate on what you want in life, how to bring success to yourself, how to bring someone, a mate for, you know, a husband or a wife or a girlfriend or something to yourself, how to have the riches, all those things. And I always thought that's wrong, because we're not here to create all these physical things for ourselves. We're not here to create riches and doing all these things. This is not our purpose in life. There's got to be something wrong. Instead of meditating to send out love and helping people and doing things, because even if we get all those things, we can't take it with us. And if we leave it to our children, they probably will spend it all, or maybe some of them won't even want it. I mean, it's just like a waste of time to me. That's how I look at it. What do you think?
Well, partially you're right. On the other hand, no, we are here to create as well,
Yes.
in even big way. Like, for instance, if you create a big company which employs thousands of people, that's something, somebody has this vision, the idea, and it's great to go for that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yes, we definitely, we are here to create. We're not sitting here to sit here and just let it all happen.
No.
You should, but the thing is, why do we do it? That's why does it come
That's
from
it.
the ego?
Right.
Or does it come really for something which maybe as your creativity is expressed, like a lot of these things. I mean, Steve Jobs, for instance, I think it was his creativity to develop the computer, etc., etc. It was fun to do one step after the other. So this is definitely, we are here also to change the world.
Right.
And there's a lot which needs to be changed. So I think that the world is open to our creativity, and when we do it. But when it comes to our personal goals, very often the secret and a lot of New Age teachings sort of give us the illusion that we just sort of snap it, we're just imagining and we can have it. And some people may get it. I don't know. I'm not saying it's definitely not planned, but I think there is something to be said about, why am I really here? Is this what I want? Do the sports car and all these kind of things are really the important things. Because in truth, we do not want the sports car, we do not want the villa, we do not want the $100 million. What we really want is the feeling of it. And that's very important to understand. It's just the feeling which we think this item can give us. So there is a lack of some kind of feeling in us, a lack of comfort, a lack of abundance, or whatever it is. And we can look into that. Why do I feel that feeling or do not feel that feeling? And it's much easier to heal it at the source than trying to continuously find from the outside things to sort of compensate and fill this hole in us. Yes. So I think the feeling is very, very important to find out, why do I want something?
That's true.
I understand that, and I can answer that, because I've always wanted to have a big house in Florida, like near the water, 5-6 bedroom
Me
place,
too.
nice big place. But my reasoning is because I want my friends to come and stay with me and feel like a family. My reasoning is I want family, the feeling of family,
Yeah, you
and
see?
being in a warm place.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
that's what I like. I'm a big house, a lot of room. People come stay
They
with
would
me.
come to Florida, that's
yeah,
for sure.
come stay
yeah.
with me and
I want you.
have an
wish you
extra
all
car in the
best.
garage to let them borrow, and we'll all be together. That's,
Dina, you have my blessing, definitely. I come and visit.
yes, absolutely. That would be an honor.
That you found out what it was behind it.
Yeah.
It wasn't the house so much. There was another little lack which the house was supposed to compensate. This is for most of the cases. That's why it says, look at these goals which you put on your vision board and so on. Why are you put the people use vision boards in the New Age group? And why do you do that? What is the feeling behind this item that you would like to have?
Yeah, why do you want it?
I feel more peaceful there because I think it's the weather too, because I hate to be
Oh, yeah.
cold.
Some people
But
are
it's
summer
the
people.
peacefulness.
Some people aren't.
Yep, it's the peacefulness. The water to me is peaceful. I like to snorkel, and then just having the place where people could come and stay with me, and you know, just
There's nothing wrong with it.
yeah. That's why I want money. That's the only reason, is to have that. And also, I would love to travel this planet before I leave it. There's so many beautiful and spiritual places out there that I would love to. I would love to go to Jerusalem someday. There's a lot of places out, but I don't have the money to do it, so that's why I keep praying something
I
will
think you
happen.
limit yourself here thinking that it's only possible through money. There are a million ways to go to Jerusalem. There are a million ways to live in Florida with where money is not the important thing. It sometimes can be a job. Sometimes a dear friend of mine was to become a doctor. He wanted to see the world, but knew once he was a doctor, he would only study and go back, etc., all the debts. So he became a steward for 2 years on an airline, and he saw the world. I mean, sometimes it's just the thinking. Another friend, not a friend, when I brought my car for service, a Mercedes car, and the driver brought us home, and I spoke with him, and he says, well, he is retired. All his life he wanted to have a Mercedes, but he could never afford one. But now he's working for Mercedes, he gets everything paid, and he drives the most modern and the latest cars. It's sometimes just thinking it's not money which we need, it's just the idea.
Great.
So we can fulfill many of our dreams without craving for the money, because the money forces us to stay in the false job. If we do the job only to get money, then we are wasting all this time to work for something only to get the money so we can buy the house. So really, let's play together. There must be other options. If that is so important, the house in this house, it is, and it could be your life plan. I'm not saying this is something which you shouldn't do because it comes from the ego, no. But if for whatever reason it is you want to go, there are many ways to go there.
Well, did you ever see the movie Eat, Pray, Love, where she did a lot of
Yeah.
traveling
Yes,
to spiritual
yes,
That was
places?
a good movie.
I would love. That's something where I feel I could identify with. It's one of my favorite movies, and I could identify with the feeling of, you know, going to the different places and learning from different spiritual teachers, and, you know, gaining that insight. And,
I did this for 1 year. I lived also in Bali, like she did.
Well, we have to
But-
talk
but
about
yeah, no, no.
traveling.
It cost me something at the time, something like $5,000, $6,000. Actually, I did it for 2 years.
That's all.
That's all. But I traveled very cheaply. Today I wouldn't do that anymore. I was young then, and I would sleep really on the beach if necessary. But it just was, the money was actually very limited. Because you can find ways to sleep, to travel around the world with not expensive things. So it's all possible. But
We have to talk.
the money is not the reason. I'm trying to say it's just
Right.
different ideas.
Right.
And when coming back to the video, sometimes when our ego, I always see the symbol of having a young boy, a sort of a 5-year-old, running through the supermarket. And he grabs this, I want this, sweetie, that chocolate and cookie and whatever it is, and puts it in, and mommy takes it all nicely out. Now, mommy doesn't take it out because she doesn't love the kid. No, she takes it out because she loves the kid. Out of love, she puts the stuff back on the shelves. And this is exactly what the higher self does with us too. It says, no, this isn't really for you.
Great
whatever it is.
analogy, isn't it?
Yeah.
There is something else. And you, later on, the thing is, we by nature can create everything through thought. On this level, it's very difficult. Most of us not, because we are not evolved as us. We still have an evolvement of like a 5-year-old. That's why we go for the villa, for the $100 million and so on. We grab the wrong stuff. But if we are higher evolved, then we are like the mother. The mother knows she goes to the supermarket, she takes this, she gets X, and she can cap it, and she has got the money to check it out and leave with it. She can create totally because she knows exactly what is right. And we haven't got that awareness yet.
Oh.
We are just running like a 5-year-old. I want this, I want this, I want this.
It's true. That's great. Great analogy.
And that's why the higher self comes in, and this, the guardian spirit says, I don't think it's a good idea. But if you really, really force it, you can have that, but then you may deviate from your originally life plan, and you may have other consequences out of it. I mean, a real forceful power says, I want that car, etc. Like somebody had, what car did you drive a long time ago?
Oh, that Firebird?
A Firebird, yeah. Well, I remember.
Love that
Your
car.
mom in a Firebird.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
nice
Hot
car.
lady.
Yeah.
That was a gorgeous car.
Who was
That
a
was a
mechanic,
gorgeous
and
car.
he was able, I was able to get one. Yeah, and I never thought I really would get it, but yeah, I had fun with that. That was my I don't know. I got it when I was getting divorced. I guess that was my gift for myself.
Conversation, yeah.
But
If we
that's
break contracts, are we doomed to have a tougher life, so to speak? Or is it just that when we get back, we're going to have to just repeat everything again if we break all these contracts and deviate a lot from our life plan? That's my last
I don't
question.
think there is one rule, because individual. The reason is, why did you break it? What was the emotion? Sometimes some accidents can happen, whatever it is, that you suddenly come into a totally different situation where certain things no longer are possible, or whatever it is. Then I don't think there's a rule. You break certain things don't happen, maybe in the next lifetime, maybe another lifetime, or maybe not at all. It's just that life does not work out the way as you had planned. And when you then return and you see that you only made maybe 10% of the whole plan that you planned, okay, maybe you have to do another life or another thing, or there's maybe another way. You can also progress in the spiritual world. You don't have to reincarnate all the time. But it's much, much slower. Because in the spiritual world, everything works on the law of attraction. So you're only surrounded by like-minded people. And when you've got only Republicans together or only Democrats together and nobody else, it's boring, very low, whatever it is.
Low,
so
everybody
whatever,
agrees with
they're
you.
all the murderers are together, and all the religious people are together, and so on. They're all in clustering together, called like to like. That's why we incarnate, to be here in a world where everybody comes from totally different awarenesses and developments.
It sort of changes the whole thought of, God wants us back, or we came to get away from him here and he wants us back. It kind of changes that whole
In what
feeling
way?
a little bit. Well, it's because we're not leaving him really when we come here. We're just sort of filling our life plan to progress spiritually. We're not, well, hopefully we're not leaving him. I mean, we're always going to remember his love for us and that he's our father, but I don't feel like coming here, I was leaving him. I feel like I was always going to return to him anyway. Does that sound?
I don't know whether I totally get it.
I don't either, what you're saying.
I'm not totally...
Well, I
because
mean,
we
they
are-
teach you in the Bible that we ran from him. I know our time is getting short, but we left him and we
Right.
came here. But we have to come here in order to progress spiritually anyway. So I don't think necessarily
Maybe it's
all
not
of us.
progressing. All what we are doing is reawakening to who we truly are. We were those wonderful spiritual beings with the highest evolved awareness, and we have basically fallen. And all we are doing, what we call evolution, is nothing as a remembering. And it's a slow remembering, becoming aware again of who we truly are.
Okay,
We
so
all
it's
are
easier to
absolutely
put it.
wonderful spiritual beings. Everybody is perfect, but we have forgotten our own perfection.
And so
When we
our
left-
journey back to him is
Yeah.
through all of this.
We
Okay.
he didn't
It's a
put us here.
reawakening.
We left, and he made this for us, this planet, so we could come here and learn.
And
He
learn.
created this big giant school for us to learn.
And it may all be big illusion.
Yeah, all right. We're doing the best we can. I like to
Right.
say we're running around in the dark, trying to do the very best that we can. So,
That book that you had me read, The Afterlife of Billy Fingers, did you read that at all?
I think I have it. I don't know whether I read that. Is
I
it
was
good?
curious. If you didn't, if you're going to read it, let us know what you think of it.
Yeah.
Well, we've only got a couple more minutes, so we've got to give our contact information. It's been so wonderful. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you for
Hans.
inviting
Thank
me.
you so much.
Delighted to
Love
be
it.
here.
It's always
We hope
wonderful
that
to have you here.
Hans will be returning with us soon. We hope.
The time goes so
It
fast.
does. Oh my goodness. Okay, here's our contact information. For more information about our show, you can contact me at 203-627-7966 or email me at whitebuffalo8@comcast.net. And go on my website, please, www.rosemarylachance.com, to get all the information you need.
There's a wealth of information.
And Dina Scungio's email is freewin1@comcast.net, and look for us on Facebook. And for Hans, it's Hans Wilhelm. His Life Explained series is www.lifeexplained.com. His phone is 203-222-9341. His email is hans@hanswilhelm.com. And he will be there for you, as we all will. Okay,
It was a wonderful show.
wasn't it?
We hope you enjoyed it. I did.
We do. We have a great show coming up in 2 more weeks, and we hope you'll enjoy that one too.
I think
And
they
all
ought
that
to
we
make
have.
a movie about what you were talking about. How we're with the same people on when we come back, we're all the same people together. Because I guarantee people will be making bargains. I guarantee it.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
fill your thirst beside the river. Wash the journey from your hands. Feel the comfort